the other group here, but we have enough here to go ahead and
How
have
do I
our
get my
meeting.
picture on there?
Turn on video.
Video. Okay, start video. Oh, there I am. You got me now?
There you are. Yes, you're up there.
Okay,
Very good.
it's 6:30 and we'll call to order the Lee County Regional Planning Commission meeting for Monday, June 7, now which has been rescheduled for Monday or for Wednesday, June 9th. And today is the June 9th meeting at 6:30 p.m. The first order of business is the roll call. Is Alice here?
Yes.
Okay,
Ellen Smith, not present. William O'Keefe,
present.
Ben Forster,
Present.
James Book, not present. Chris Hinkle,
Present.
John Hillison, not present.
Okay, we have three members of the board here, which is a sufficient number to do business. I declare a quorum, and the next order of business is the approval of the minutes of the meeting of May the 3rd. Anybody have any comments on those meetings? On those minutes, excuse me.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. The minutes of the Plan Commission meeting for May the 3rd are approved. Okay. Next order of business is comments from the visitors section. Is there anyone here other than for the matters that are on the agenda?
There is not.
Okay, we'll just pass over that. May I suggest that we handle the Knapmeyer matter before going into the discussions? Does anybody have an objection to that?
That would be perfect, Bill.
Okay, I think that would be the best thing to do. I've received material on the Lisa appeal of Karen Knapmeyer. And I'm going to ask you, Dee, to please make the introductions and present the matter from the county's point of view.
I'm unsure, does she need to swear in?
Well, let's just be careful and swear her in on Lisa appeal. If you can stand up, Ms. Knapmeyer, and hold up your hand, and Alice, who is our clerk, will swear you in. And we'd also ask you to sign a statement. Alice, would you just swear her in?
Okay. Do you solemnly swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you are about to give shall be the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. You can sit down now and sign this statement. Okay, Dee, let's proceed with this.
Okay, Karen here has been looking for land out here in Lee County for quite some time, and she came across this little piece and called and wanted to know what she can do to build a house on it. I told her she needed first to go to the Soil and Water Conservation District and talk with Brenda to get a score for her Lisa. And you have that in front of you.
Could I get a parcel number?
Excuse me, was there a comment there?
I just requested the parcel number for the property.
It's 0609 14 100 003. And the Lisa score was taken on April 30th, 2021. And the score was high at 253.
Okay, does everyone have a picture of the property, the aerial view of it?
Yes, we do.
Okay, it's fairly clear to me that this particular property is unfarmable. And in this particular case, we have a statement from the Land Evaluation and Site Assessment Committee itself, which is unprecedented in my experience here, saying that in their opinion, the property is unfarmable.
Bill, when she gave me the scores, I asked her if she could give a little her comment on it, and that's why I produced this for you.
Well,
Can
I'm
I
all
read
for
it?
it. I think it's wonderful.
Can I read it at this time?
Yes, please go ahead.
It's to the Planning Commission from Brenda Merriman from the Soil and Water. Even though this property, Lisa, was high, the Lee County Soil and Water feel that the property would be difficult to farm. It appears to not have been farmed for quite some time and therefore not taking anything out of production to be used as a building site.
Does anybody have any comments on that?
I don't have any other comments other than to ask the applicant, what is taking place on that property right now?
It looks like it was used as pasture,
As
has been used as
pasture.
pasture in the past.
Okay,
And I did note that there's the percentages, it appears to be, if I am correct, that less than a half an acre is suitable for crop production,
less than half. Okay. And I also noticed that you have a waterway that's going
all the way.
kitty
through.
corner
Mhm.
from northeast or northwest to southeast
That's
through the
correct.
property,
Mhm.
which divides it, which makes this property appear to be very unfarmable. So I have to agree with the opinion coming from the Soil and Water Office that this property is not proper prime farmland. That's my
I would
comment.
just add the additional comment that we have handled difficult parcels before where they're irregular in shape or have not been farmed for many years. And in most cases, we have waived the Lisa score and permitted the property to be developed. I'm in favor of waiving the high Lisa score on this particular property. And I'll entertain a motion to do so unless anybody else objects to that.
Bill, could we hear from Karen and her thoughts on what she was planning on doing?
Well, I don't know that that's particularly relevant, quite frankly.
Okay,
All right.
I mean, as long as it is, she's building some kind of a house on there.
Very small, low impact.
With the understanding that she is applying for the Lisa waiver to build a house on that property, which is zone ag 1, I would make the motion that we waive the Lisa, regardless the score was 253, waive the lease to allow her to build a house on that property.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
You're free to go now. I think you've been approved.
I really want to thank you very much.
Thank you.
I just want to clarify that she will have to meet all other requirements of the zoning ordinance in connection with her development of the property. I mean, the fact that Lisa is waived doesn't waive anything else.
My next step is to get somebody out to look at possibility of a well and a septic system, because there's only certain ways that you can build a septic system, so I have to find out about that next.
So Bill, if you did not hear her, she will have to follow the health department's ordinances regarding septic and well. She'll have to follow the zoning ordinance for setbacks for a house.
Exactly.
All that is understood, and she is agreeing to do that.
Exactly. Thank you. Okay, we can now proceed to old business, unless there's any other new business.
There is not.
Okay, the first item is Lee County Greenways and Trails Plan updates. The only thing I have to add there is that I've contacted the DNR regarding existing natural resource assets in Lee County and asked for them to prepare a map of the county designating all of those for our use in that section of the comprehensive plan that we're considering to amend. And at the same time, I noted that the DNR is all in favor of the Greenway programs and the trail plans that we have now incorporated and the revisions that we intend to incorporate in the future. And I guess the only point again to mention is that there's more to that section of the plan than just greenways and trails. We'll have further updates as we proceed. As I see it, there's no particular hurry on this. We're working on it, and hopefully we'll make some more progress.
I have been trying to get some members to that steering committee that Black Hawk Hills is initiating. I have maybe 2 that are a possibility to join that committee. Trying to get maybe 1 more person.
Well, good luck. Give us a report next month on that.
I sure will.
Is there any other issues regarding the greenways and trail plan?
No.
If not, we'll move on to the wind ordinance review.
Before we do that, Bill, can we just address the Lee County Comprehensive Plan updates? Dee, is there any updates?
I have no updates at this
Okay.
time.
So we'll
Right.
cross that. We'll cross B
I
off. Okay.
kind of
When-
covered that at the same, as
Yep.
part of A.
Okay, very good.
Okay, let's proceed with the wind ordinance review. Chris, I think you're most familiar with this.
Okay, yeah, I'd be glad to step in if I can. Under the 10-1515 ordinance that we have for wind energy systems, as you know, Bill, that goes back to you and I years and years ago. And it's a 1-page document that covers the wind ordinance that we saw back in 2005 or 2001, I forget the date. What has been taking place in the last few years is that the county board and the zoning board have been dealing with a lot of wind farms that have come into the county, and with the ad hoc committee that was formed back around the 2013 time, they went through and came up with a brand new, what they were proposing, a new ordinance, which the county board actually ended up turning down. The wind farm that came in was Green River Wind. They said, well, we will go ahead and do the conditions that you proposed to the county board, which were only conditions. They were not an ordinance. So they went ahead and did that, and that was under my watch. They went ahead and did all that. And when it came to the county board added another 8 conditions to the conditions, not the ordinance. So this is very confusing for a wind farm to come in and say, okay, we're looking at your ordinance, the 10-15-15, which is a 1-page document, when we have all these other conditions that are specifically for the county to require. It's creating a havoc. Let me put it that way.
Right.
We were able to do it. We got it done through the Green River Wind, but it is time, because there are other wind farms trying to come into the county that are only looking at the 10-15-15 ordinance, don't know anything about the conditions that have been abided by Green River, by Shady Oaks, and the 8 conditions that the county board instilled to pass that back in the day. So it's urgent, and being a part of that back in the day, I would want to have this committee tonight try to put this ordinance, or I'm sorry, all these conditions into an ordinance, which has been done by the zoning office, and into an ordinance form, sent to, which committee do we send this to? We sent to county board to be recommended, maybe back to us for a public hearing to say, okay, we want to include in our 10-15-15 wind energy systems ordinance all of these conditions, which Bill, I think you have a copy of,
I have them.
and also the conditions we may want to discuss while we're here tonight before we say, let's make a motion to send this to the county board to send it to us to create a public hearing for the ordinance, correct?
If I could comment just initially here. At the last meeting, one of the last things I said, and it was not included in the minutes, was that the state's attorney should look at these conditions to make sure that they are not, or that these types of conditions have not been held up as illegal impositions on a use. There are lots of cases, more cases on this all the time. Now, going beyond that, I think that the most important thing is that conditions really should be site specific and not general. So I'm kind of disagreeing with you that we should do this as part of a new ordinance, because I think, if they're truly conditions applicable to a particular use, that's what they are, applicable to that particular use. And they aren't applicable to every use. So I think you're putting an undue burden on your applicants that, for one reason or another, might have an entirely different situation, that the conditions simply are not appropriate. And that's why I'm saying that conditions, that's the meaning of them. They are site specific.
Okay,
Understand what I'm saying?
well, I'm hearing what you're saying, but I'm,
No, that's different than what the board is telling you. I understand that. But
okay,
I'm just thinking, that's really not the way to do it.
okay, what way are you thinking of doing it?
I would simply go back to the board, and again, they might just, maybe they don't understand this, that the new ordinance that you've done is wonderful. And it's of general application to all applicants applying. But the condition part should be looked at differently for each particular application, because they're all different. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I don't know if I'm following. I'm looking at the ordinance as, and you have a copy of that, correct? Bill?
Yes, I do. I
Okay,
think the ordinance is really a good ordinance,
okay, so with the,
but the board rejected that, correct?
no, well, they.
In its
when-
form,
when-
in the present form.
When,
No,
back in 2013, the county board turned down all, because they found that the conditions, and basically they were trying to turn it into an ordinance back then, were too restrictive. They're not included in the ordinance that you're reading today.
Okay,
So
well,
the
this
things
is,
The things that they turned.
this is kind of what I'm saying here, is that your ordinance should be of more general application and apply to every new application, but you're going to find if you try to ram the conditions as they're written into the ordinance, you're going to run into situations where the conditions simply are not appropriate.
Okay, so I'm going to try to get more clarity with you. The ordinance that is proposed right now that you are looking at,
Right.
do you see anything in that ordinance, that form, not the conditions? The ordinance, do you find that the ordinance looks okay?
I think it does, yes.
So do I. I think
Yep.
we're agreeing. I think we're just going at it at two different ways. Okay, so the conditions, the 8 conditions were applied to the wind farm, and I'm going to say it's the Green River Wind back in 2013, whatever year it was. The county board came up with the 8 new conditions. I understand what you're saying. Some of this, such as the decommissioning plan should also include a $40,000 per turbine. That is debatable. I don't know if we can.
This is exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, I get you. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, do we want to include these conditions in the ordinance or keep the conditions separate and talk to?
This is what I'm saying, that they should be separate,
Okay,
that the
so
conditions,
here's what I,
conditions should be negotiated in
okay,
connection with every single application.
okay. And would you say that the 1 through 8, all 8 of those should be negotiated?
Now, I can't say that, and this is why, I asked that it be looked at by the state's attorney, just to make sure, first of all, that there
Okay.
are no problems with
For
any
the
of those.
record, I did email Charlie on June 3rd and I have gotten no response.
Okay, and so with that comment made,
So here,
Why
but
don't-
Chris,
why don't-
let me just say something.
okay,
The ordinance, whoever did the ordinance, analyzed, what the law was, and this is the standard type of ordinance that other counties and everybody is using. I mean, that's where it's going, okay?
mhm, yep, I
And,
agree.
and that's good, and that's what we want. The conditions are another matter, and that's what we have to deal with here. And as
Okay.
I'm saying, there might be 8 for the one that was already approved. There might be 10 for the next one, or 15.
Which the zoning board of appeals has, and the county board has the right to add or subtract or do whatever.
Because
they
it's a
wanna do.
special use.
Yes,
And
So-
in all special uses, reasonable conditions can be imposed as a
Yes.
condition to approving that particular special use.
yep. I agree with that. So what I would like to see us do tonight is move at minimum, move the ordinance, approve the ordinance by this committee and forward it on to the county board to bring it back to us for a public hearing. As far as the conditions, we can set the conditions off to the side, have Charlie, our state's attorney, review and say, yes, you can include these somewhere in the ordinance if our committee decides to do that,
Well,
and
but
forward it on to the county board.
I really would not like to see them in the ordinance, period.
And I agree with that.
And I mean, they are something that it could be different in every single one.
Well, here's the thing, Bill, and as you know, that came from the county board. That did not come from the
Well, look,
zoning.
I understand, and I understand that they don't understand
Yep,
or haven't anticipated every possibility.
okay,
But that's the problem, is that possibilities come up all the time. And you're
Okay.
dealing with something different, and you're trying to put a round hole, a round peg in a square hole. And that's what you're going to be dealing with if you put the conditions generally for every single one.
okay. I hear you.
So is there a way to add to the ordinance a provision that,
I mean, you can put it aside, like this is our,
must abide by all negotiated conditions as well? To lend some teeth to it.
Did you hear that, Bill?
what?
If you think right in your mouth.
Uh,
It's just that way.
Do we have the ability to add to the ordinance just a provision that all negotiated conditions must be adhered to as well,
Absolutely.
as part of the ordinance?
Absolutely. That's not even required. That's the law.
That allows for that.
Yes, that's the law. And then you negotiate the conditions, and maybe you're just going to tweak a couple of words but it's the difference between people going along with it and people not going along with it. I mean, that's just the way things are.
Okay. So, and I'm going to ask you, Ben, you've read the ordinance form.
Right.
Are you okay with the ordinance form?
I am.
So then what I would like to do is make a motion to send the ordinance to the county board to recommend them to send it back to us for a public hearing. And I would make that as a motion.
I'll second it. I mean, I think I have to second just so we can get this through.
Yep. Ben did second it, so let Ben second it.
Okay, I'm
And then-
sorry, I didn't hear that.
Yep. And then if we all vote on
All
it
in
right now.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so with that understood, we have the ordinance going to the county board to be recommended back to this board. That gives us a month to find out what Charlie has to say about these conditions. We'll make
Exactly.
the conditions a different subject for next month.
Yeah, and
Does that work? Does that work, Bill?
no, it's fine with me. Just put some omnibus language maybe at the end of the conditions saying that that additional conditions or lesser conditions may apply. That's all.
Okay, so somebody write that down. That's a good thing to hear. Okay, I agree with you. I understand the position that you're taking on it. I just want to make sure that we can get this thing moving and have something on the books that these wind farms can come and say, well, what ordinance says, because your 10-15-15 doesn't say that. Now, for your information, and you probably already have proof this, the 10-15-15 is incorporated into this ordinance that we just approved to send on to the county board. So we're good that way. It's just the conditions that we're having a little difficulty with. We'll work on that by next month.
You just tell the county board that, look, these are we'd like to see these in this case and hopefully in other cases, but you don't know. You just can't adopt 8 conditions out of the air, which is what you're doing.
Okay,
Well, especially with 2 of them being financial, because, the cost of taking down a turbine is going to increase. There's, the negotiating with the
change.
neighbors to
Right,
get it to go through is going to change, but you don't want to lock it
Exactly.
into an ordinance.
exactly.
one of my things with the decommissioning plan was it says here, include a minimum of $40,000 per turbine. I want to see that higher.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean,
That's
but
what,
this
that's what you
was-
negotiate, Chris. That's why
Yes.
you don't put it in the ordinance.
And that was created how many years ago? We're talking 8-9 years ago.
Yeah.
Towers now are from the 300 high or roughly 350 feet tall are now 650 feet tall. So we know these things are going to cost more.
$40,000 is
Yeah.
probably only going to get your blades off.
Yeah,
If
so I
See,
understand. I
Once
understand.
once these things are in the ordinance, you're stuck with them.
Yes,
And we don't want that.
that's a good way to put it. Okay. I like the way you just said that. Okay, so I think we're in agreement. We'll go ahead and send that ordinance proposal to the county board to be sent back to us as a public hearing. We have to have the public hearing. Are we good? Everybody?
I think we took a vote.
We did.
Yes, 3-0.
Yep.
Is there any other business to come up tonight?
Nothing.
Any
That's
other comments? Dee, do you have any? Oh, I've got one other comment, and I meant to do this today and I didn't. We checked our zoning ordinance for the validity of Zoom meetings. I mean, we have a section on meetings in the zoning ordinance. And I just want to make sure that it's flexible enough that a Zoom meeting is treated the same as an everybody in person meeting. And it may take a couple of words to be changed, just to clarify that. I didn't have it, as I said, I didn't have a chance to check it today, but it's something that we have to check because we don't want anybody raising this point later on.
Yes, I will look into that for you, Bill.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.
Thank
And I
you.
like doing it this way.
Okay. Well, I was glad to see you come in because we're down to two without you, so that worked out real well.
Well, I just had difficulty signing in.
Yep. No problem. So,
Okay,
okay,
thank you.
till next month. Thanks, Bill.
Yes.
Adjourn?
Bill, do we have to adjourn?
We'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
I second it.
All in favor? The meeting's adjourned.
We are.
Thank you.
Thank you.